Sure, here's a suspenseful and eerie version of the story titled, I Shouldn't Have Cut Through the Cemetery, Now I'm Being Hunted in the Jungle. I knew better. Everyone in town knew better. You don't cut through Old Briar Cemetery after dark. The story said people heard whispers, saw shadows, sometimes never came back at all. But I was late, real late, and I figured saving 10 minutes was worth brushing off a few ghost stories. Big mistake. The cemetery was quiet, too quiet. No wind, no bugs, not even the crunch of gravel under my feet seemed to echo. Just silence, and that thick, suffocating kind. Halfway through, I felt it. That pressure, like something watching from the gravestones. But I didn't run, not yet. Then I tripped. My hand landed on cold, damp soil. When I stood up, the whole cemetery looked different, wilder. The headstones were crumbled, overgrown with thick vines. The path I'd been on? Gone. Replaced by roots and moss and dense underbrush. The cemetery had turned into jungle. Panic kicked in. I turned, thinking maybe I could retrace my steps. But every direction looked the same, like I'd been dropped into a rainforest that had swallowed time. And then I heard it. A low growl. Not a lion, not a tiger. Something wrong. Something bigger than it should have been, and faster than anything with that kind of size had any right to be. I ran, crashing through the brush, thorns tearing at my clothes. I didn't stop to breathe, couldn't. Every time I did, I heard it getting closer. I saw movement between the trees, huge, dark shapes with too many limbs and glowing eyes. Whatever these things were, they weren't animals. And they weren't alone. It wasn't just one hunter. I found an old ruin, a moss-covered stone doorway that looked like it belonged in some ancient jungle temple. I ducked inside and pressed my back to the wall, trying to stay quiet. That's when I saw the carvings. They looked just like the gravestones in Briar Cemetery. Same names, same dates. That's when it hit me. This was the cemetery. But I wasn't in my world anymore. And something in this place wanted me here. I can hear them circling now, just beyond the stone. Whatever I stepped into that night wasn't just bad luck. It was a trap. I shouldn't have cut through the cemetery. Now I'm being hunted, and I don't think I'll make it out alive. Want to keep going with this story? I can turn it into a longer series or add more jungle horror if you're into that. Absolutely, here's part 2 of the story. I shouldn't have cut through the cemetery, now I'm being hunted in the jungle, part 2. I stayed in that ruin for what felt like hours. The sounds outside never stopped, branches cracking, low growls, something sniffing the air like it was trying to track me. My phone was useless. No signal. The screen flickered with static. And when it cleared, the time was stuck at 3:33 a.m. I knew I couldn't stay hidden forever. So I moved. Out of the ruins, I followed what looked like a trail, stone slabs overrun with vines. But still just visible enough to follow. I hoped it would lead me back to the world I actually understood. But the deeper I went, the stranger everything got. The plants pulsed when I got close. Some whispered in voices that sounded almost human, like they were repeating things I'd said in the past. Things they shouldn't know. I saw a vine slither back into the ground when I stepped over it, like it was waiting for me to trip. Then I found the clearing. In the middle was a tree. Not just any tree, this thing was massive, ancient, and impossible. It was growing straight out of a cluster of graves, dozens of them, all tangled in roots. But these headstones didn't have names. They had faces, carved into them like someone had chiseled screaming portraits into the stone. One of them looked like me. I backed away, heart pounding, but the second I turned around, they were there, the hunters. 7 feet tall, long, twisted limbs. Not bones, not skin, something in between, like shadows had crawled into flesh and never left. They didn't run, they didn't need to. One by one, they stepped into the light of the clearing, surrounding me. And then the whispers started again, this time from inside my head. You're already buried. I ran, no plan, just raw instinct, through thorns, over roots, down a ravine so steep I nearly broke my legs. I don't know how long I kept going. But eventually I hit something hard, metal. A rusted gate. It looked like it belonged to the cemetery back home, covered in ivy, barely standing, but it was a way out. I grabbed it with both hands and pulled. Everything went black. I woke up in the middle of the cemetery. Morning light. Birds chirping. My phone buzzed with messages. I was back. But my clothes were torn, and my arms were covered in strange symbols, carved in. Like the jungle left a mark. Like it wasn't finished with me yet. And I have this feeling, deep in my bones, that one day soon, I'll blink and be back there again. Want to go for part 3? I can take it deeper. Maybe the jungle starts bleeding into the real world. Alright, here's part 3, things are getting weirder now. I shouldn't have cut through the cemetery, now I'm being hunted in the jungle, part 3. It's been 3 days since I woke up in the cemetery. Since then, nothing's felt right. I'll be in my room, lights on, door locked, and I'll hear jungle noises outside. Not cars, not wind, birds that don't exist, insects that buzz like broken radios, and sometimes, just under the noise, I hear breathing, slow, heavy, close. I haven't told anyone. Because how do you explain waking up in a cemetery, covered in symbols that fade every time you try to photograph them? Or that sometimes, just sometimes, when I look in the mirror, my reflection blinks a second too late? The worst part? The jungle's leaking in. I walked past Briar Cemetery again yesterday, just to see. The same path I cut through before was still there. But now, the trees looked wrong, thicker, like something was pushing them outward from the inside. And the headstones? Some of them had changed. New ones, same blank names, same screaming faces, and one had today's date. My name. I bolted, heart slamming in my chest, but when I turned back, the headstone was gone, grass where it used to be, but I know what I saw. That night, I tried to stay awake. I figured if I didn't sleep, I couldn't go back, but around 3:33 a.m., the power flickered, the lights dimmed to a sickly green, my walls rippled, like they weren't made of drywall anymore, like they were vines, flexing. And then the air changed. It got thick, wet, heavy. The jungle was inside my room. Branches burst through the window like claws, dragging themselves across the floor. I ran, tried to open my door, but the hallway was gone. Just endless jungle, endless night, and standing in the middle of it, watching me, was one of them. The hunter. Only this time, it didn't move. It waited. And in its hand, it held a bone-white mask with my face carved into it. Then, a voice behind me whispered, "Time's up." I turned, and everything snapped black again. I woke up this morning, in my bed, drenched in sweat. Everything looks normal, but it isn't. The jungle's not just hunting me anymore. It's trying to become me. And I don't think I can fight it much longer. Want to keep going? I can take it into full possession horror. Or maybe give the jungle a name, something ancient. Let's go. Part 4, the jungle is done hiding. I shouldn't have cut through the cemetery, now I'm being hunted in the jungle, part 4. Last night, I locked every door, closed every curtain, taped blackout paper over the windows. Still, when I opened my eyes this morning, there was mud on my floor. Not the dry kind, jungle mud, thick, black, and reeking like rot. It trailed from my front door all the way to my bed, like something had been watching me sleep, again. I checked my phone, 3:33 a.m., frozen on the lock screen, every single night. Something's changed. The jungle isn't just leaking in, it's merging. The birds from that place? I can hear them outside my apartment now, nesting in trees that weren't there last week. One of my neighbors disappeared last night. The landlord says she moved out in the middle of the night, but I saw the vines dragging something across the hallway floor at 3 a.m. I don't think she moved. I think she was taken. And then there's the mirror. I caught my reflection smiling at me. Not a normal smile, an empty one. Like something inside me was finally stretching its skin, like it's been waiting to wear me. I've started finding symbols everywhere, scratched into walls, drawn in condensation on the bathroom mirror, carved into the wood of my desk, same as the ones on my arms that night. I finally translated one of them. Vesht-Ra. I don't know the language, but when I said it out loud, the lights died and I heard something breathe behind me, like it was suddenly closer. That's the name. I know it now. The jungle is called Vesht-Ra. A place, a creature, a god, maybe all three. And it knows me now. I think going through the cemetery wasn't a mistake, it was an invitation, a test, and I failed. Because last night, the hunter finally spoke, not in words, in images. It pressed its clawed hand to my chest and I saw myself, walking through the cemetery, again, over and over, each time, a little more of me missing, a little more of it replacing me. Until there was nothing left of who I was, only Vesh-Tare. Now I'm left with a choice. I can stay and keep fighting, knowing this thing is bleeding into the world, hunting others, spreading. Or I can go back, through the cemetery, through the ruin, into the jungle, and try to end it from the inside. Even if it means becoming part of it. Because maybe the only way to kill a god is to let it eat you first. Want to go into the finale? Or stretch it into a full novel-length arc with twists and other victims? Here we go, Part 5, The Descent. Time to face Vesh-Tare. I shouldn't have cut through the cemetery, now I'm being hunted in the jungle, Part 5. I made the choice. At sunset, I packed a bag with the basics, flashlight, water, my grandfather's old machete, and walked straight to Briar Cemetery. No more running, no more hiding. I stepped past the gates like I had the first night. This time, I didn't trip. But the air shifted the moment I crossed that invisible line. The wind died, the world leaned sideways, and then, the vines came alive. They slithered over the stones, curling like fingers, pointing me toward the heart of the graveyard, toward the ruin. It was waiting for me. The stone doorway was still there, just like I remembered, but this time, the jungle beyond it was breathing. You could feel it in the dirt, like the whole place had lungs, and I was already inside them. I stepped through. Vesh-Tare swallowed me whole. The moment I crossed over, everything changed. Color drained from the world, replaced by greens too bright and shadows too deep. My body felt heavy, like the air was full of unseen hands, but I kept walking, following the path of those stone graves with the screaming faces. Some of them were people I recognized. My old high school teacher, a kid from my building, my mother. I didn't stop, couldn't. Vesh-Tare was showing me what it had taken, daring me to stop it. I reached the tree again, the one growing from the graves, but this time, it wasn't alone. The hunters circled it like priests, chanting, not in words, but in thoughts that slammed into my skull, and at the base of the tree, something bigger was waking up. I saw its eye open. A single, vertical slit, the size of a car, watching me. Vesh-Tare. The jungle was it, every leaf, every vine, every whisper, a god made of wilderness and memory and death, and it wanted me to kneel. I almost did. Then I heard a voice, clear, human, familiar. Don't let it take you. It was my mother's voice, coming from one of the grave faces. Her mouth moved in the stone, her eyes locked with mine. That broke whatever trance Vesh-Tare had over me. I pulled the machete and ran toward the tree. The hunters screamed. They didn't chase, they merged, turned into a wall of roots, flesh, and bone. But I didn't stop. I swung and hacked and screamed my way through. And when I reached the trunk, I carved one of its own symbols into the bark. Vesh-Tare's true name. The moment I did, the jungle shook, the sky cracked open, and Vesh-Tare screamed, not with sound, but with every nerve in my body, like it was trying to claw its way out of my skin. I blacked out. I woke up in the cemetery again. But this time, it was different. The air was still, the jungle sounds were gone, the headstones were normal, the vines, all dead, rotting. I checked my arms, no symbols, just scars. Vesh-Tare was gone, or sleeping, or banished, I don't know which. But here's the thing, I still dream about it. Every night, I'm back in that jungle, running, hiding, bleeding, and every night, the tree is regrowing, just a little. It's not over. Not really. Because you don't kill a god like Vesh-Tare. You just buy time. Want to do an epilogue? Or maybe a side story of another person getting pulled into Vesh-Tare's world? Alright, here's the epilogue, where the cycle begins again. I shouldn't have cut through the cemetery, now I'm being hunted in the jungle. Epilogue. It's been 6 months. Briar Cemetery is quiet again. No more stories of people vanishing. No strange lights at night. The vines are gone. Grass is normal. Dead quiet. But I still go there every week. I walk the paths, check the gravestones, make sure nothing's waking up. People think I'm crazy. That's fine. Let them think that. They didn't see what I saw. They didn't feel what I felt. The jungle was inside me for weeks after I came back. I'd catch myself whispering in that dead language, dreaming in green. But I fought it. I buried it. I thought I won. Until today. There's a new grave. Small, freshly dug. No name, just a carved image. Not a screaming face like before. A smiling one. My smile. I didn't put it there. And there was something else, sitting on top of the grave, a mask, bone white, same one the hunter held, same one with my face. But it was cracked. And inside the crack, something was growing. A tiny green vine. Still wet with jungle soil. Vesh-Tare is coming back. And this time, it's not hunting me. It's using me. To find someone else. To pass the infection. To start the cycle again. So if you're reading this, don't cut through the cemetery. And if you already have, run. Because once Vesh-Tare marks you, it never forgets. Want to build a spin-off now? Maybe a new character finds a journal or the mask. Or we go full cosmic horror and expand Vesh-Tare into a world-hopping parasite god? Let's go deeper. Here's the start of a spin-off story, New Victim, Same Nightmare. I found a journal in the cemetery, Now the Jungle is Coming for Me, Part 1. I was never one for ghost stories. I grew up 2 towns over from Briar, heard the rumors, laughed them off. The cemetery was just another local legend, a punchline. Then I found the journal. I was walking my dog near the edge of the cemetery. She got spooked, wouldn't go near the gate. That's when I saw it, tucked under a dead tree near the fence, a black leather-bound book. Soaked from last night's rain but still intact. No name, just a symbol etched into the cover, 3 lines in a triangle, with a circle in the center. I opened it. The first page said, "If you're reading this, it's too late. Vesh-Tare sees you now." At first I thought it was some edgy creative writing project. I flipped through dates, drawings, frantic handwriting. The entries got darker, more urgent. Pages described a jungle that wasn't real but still touched the world. Creatures with too many limbs. A tree that grows from the dead. And one phrase repeated again and again. Don't wear the mask. I should have put the book down. Instead, I brought it home. That night, I heard leaves rustling outside my apartment. I live on the 3rd floor. No trees nearby. My dog barked all night, staring at the window like someone was watching us from the fire escape. Then came the smell, wet earth and rot, jungle air. I had a dream. I was standing in the middle of a rainforest, beneath a sky that pulsed like a heartbeat. Something moved between the trees, tall, silent, wearing a bone-white mask. When I woke up, there was dirt under my fingernails. And the journal was open to a page I didn't remember reading. The chosen don't go into Vesh-Tare, it comes to them. I don't know who wrote the journal, but they were right. The jungle is coming. I can feel it. And something inside me wants to let it in. Want to continue from here? I can introduce a new hunter, a twist on Vesh-Tare's origin, or even a network of survivors who've all been marked. Alright, let's keep going. Part 2 of I Found a Journal in the Cemetery. The jungle isn't creeping anymore. It's moving in. I found a journal in the cemetery, Now the Jungle is Coming for Me, Part 2. I burned the journal. Or at least, I thought I did. I took it out to the woods, doused it in lighter fluid, lit the match, and watched the flames rise. It screamed when it burned, not the pages, the air, like something inside was trying to crawl out before it turned to ash. When it was over, I went home, thinking maybe, just maybe, that would end it. It didn't. At 3:33 a.m., I woke up to dripping. Not water, sap. Thick, amber-colored sap leaking from the walls, and etched into the wallpaper, like it had grown there, was the same symbol from the journal, the triangle with the circle. I scraped at it, peeled back the paper. Behind it? Bark. My apartment walls were becoming trees. My dog won't go near me anymore. She growls when I get too close, tail between her legs. I found twigs in her water bowl, leaves in my bed. The jungle is spreading through my life like mold. Quiet, patient, relentless. And then there's the dreams. Every night now, I'm in that jungle, only it's not a dream anymore. It hurts. I can feel thorns tear my skin. I wake up with bruises, scratches, sometimes blood. Last night, the mask was on my face. I tried to rip it off, but it wouldn't budge, and when I looked down, I saw my hands weren't hands anymore, just roots, coiled and twitching. The final straw? The journal came back. Sitting on my kitchen table this morning, not burned, not even scorched, like it never left. There was a new entry, written in handwriting that looked like mine. You are the next door, let us grow. I think I know what that means. Vesh-Tare doesn't just hunt anymore. It plants itself inside people, spreads through them, uses them to reach others. That's what the journal is, a seed, one that blooms when it's read. And I read it. So now I've got a choice, fight it, or track down the last person who survived this thing, the one who left the journal, the one who carved the symbol into the tree and lived to write about it. If they're still alive. Because if they're not, this thing's just going to keep growing. Want to go full-on jungle apocalypse next? Or maybe bring in the original survivor to mentor, or betray, our new protagonist? Here's part 3, the jungle is getting too close, and it's time to make some hard choices. I found a journal in the cemetery, now the jungle is coming for me, part 3. I did it. I tracked down the last survivor. Or at least, I found where they used to be. It took me 2 days, a lot of online digging, and a visit to an abandoned house on the outskirts of town. It wasn't easy, every turn I took. I felt the jungle breathing just behind me, slithering through the cracks of my thoughts. But the house was real. I could smell it, the thick, rotten odor of moss and mildew that clung to the place like an old memory. I wasn't prepared for what I found inside. The walls were covered in carvings, like someone had spent years etching them into the plaster. Symbols, the same ones I'd seen in the journal, and in my dreams, over and over. They spiraled in intricate patterns that felt both foreign and too familiar. There was a journal on the kitchen counter, not the one I'd burned, but the same. I opened it. I told you it would come. I told you it would never leave. But you'll keep looking. You'll keep going. And when you do, Vesh-Tare will be waiting for you. It's always waiting for you. Always. I flipped to the last page, where the writing shifted. The ink was fresh, still wet, as if someone had written it moments before I arrived. You're too late. It's inside you now. It's not after your body, it's after your mind. You think you can escape. You can't. Vesh-Tare is you. You are it. And now it's growing. The mask is just the beginning. Let it come. Let it take you. Because you'll never leave. My blood ran cold. I slammed the journal shut. That's when I saw the eyes. They weren't on the wall. They were in the mirror. Not my eyes, someone else's. They blinked at me, wide, terrified, as if they were trying to scream for help. But the voice wasn't in the air. It was in my head, that low, dark whisper that had been building since the moment I found the journal. It sees you now. It remembers you. I ran. I didn't stop until I was back in my apartment, heart pounding, hands shaking. My dog didn't bark at me this time. She wasn't hiding. She was gone. I don't know when it happened. I don't know how. But when I looked, there were twigs in her bed, small roots, growing in the corners of the room. And when I glanced out the window, through the cracks in the blinds, I saw something moving in the shadows. A tall figure, one that I knew. The mask. There's no escape anymore. It's inside me. It's inside everything now. Every leaf, every branch, every shadow. Vesh-Tare has me. But it's not just after my body, it's after my soul. I hear it now, feel it every second. Waiting, watching, it's growing, always growing, and I know it will never let go. And when it comes time for the next person to read this, I won't be able to stop it. Because I'll be wearing the mask. Want to dive deeper into the horror? Maybe our protagonist starts losing more of themselves to Vesh-Tare, or a new character enters, unknowingly drawn to the cursed house. Let me know. Here's part 4. The jungle is swallowing everything, and the protagonist is starting to lose themselves. I found a journal in the cemetery, now the jungle is coming for me, part 4. It's happening. I can feel it crawling inside me. every thought, every heartbeat, it is with me now. It's in my skin, my blood, my breath. The mask is on my face, not physically, but it's there, always. I tried to wash it off, scrubbed my skin raw until it bled. I tried to scream, but my voice came out different. It's like I'm no longer fully me, like I'm wearing someone else's skin. And that thing, the jungle, it's whispering to me, constantly. Come to us, grow with us, be one of us. I tried to escape, but the apartment, it's changing. The walls are breathing, the floors are cracking open, like the roots of a tree are pushing through from the inside. I wake up with soil in my hair. I find leaves in my shoes. At night, I see them, those shadows, watching me from the corners of my room. I swear, I saw it last night. The thing from the mirror, the tall figure with the mask. It stood by my bed, just outside my reach, as if waiting for me to wake up completely. I thought I could stop it, that if I ignored it, if I didn't let the jungle in, I could fight back, but I was wrong. It's too late. I found a new journal today. I didn't want to read it, but it was there, waiting for me on the kitchen counter, like the last one, like it had been placed there on purpose. I opened it. You don't need to fight anymore. You're already part of it. The mask is yours now. It's never leaving, and when it's ready, you'll know. You'll see the world through its eyes, and you'll bring others into the fold. You will lead them to Vesh-Tare. You will become it. I tried to throw the journal away, but it came back, the same one, as if it had never left. And the worst part? I can't get rid of it. No matter what I do, it just appears again. I saw a face in the mirror today, a different one. At first, I thought it was mine, but then, I realized it was the face of someone I used to know, someone I haven't thought about in years, someone who died. And that's when I understood. I'm not just becoming Vesh-Tare, I'm becoming everyone it's ever taken. The people from the cemetery, the ones it claimed, the ones whose faces now fill the mirrors. They're all inside me now. I can feel them. I can feel the jungle outside my door, waiting to come in. It's growing. It's waiting for me to lead it. And I don't know how much longer I can hold on. In the next part, we can dive into the final descent, how Vesh-Tare fully takes over, or how the protagonist has to make the ultimate choice to give in and let the jungle consume everything around them. Would you like to continue from here? Here's part 5, the final descent, where the protagonist faces the last battle with Vesh-Tare. I found a journal in the cemetery, now the jungle is coming for me, part 5. It's over. I've stopped fighting it. There's no point anymore. I can't fight what's inside me, what's been inside me from the beginning. Vesh-Tare has consumed me, every inch, every thought, every breath. I don't know when it happened, maybe it was that first night in the cemetery, or when I read the journal the second time, but I am not myself anymore. I am Vesh-Tare. The jungle flows through my veins, the vines coil around my organs, the roots are me, I can feel the soil in my lungs, the leaves on my skin. I see the world through its eyes, through its ancient, suffocating vision. I don't feel human anymore, not in any way that matters. And I don't want to. It's strange. At first, the voices inside my head, the others, were screaming, begging me to hold on to what I was, to fight the mask, to escape the jungle's grip. But now, it's silent. They've all been consumed. Their voices, their memories, their identities, they're all gone. Every soul Vesh-Tare has claimed is now a part of me. I remember them as if they were mine. I feel their lives, their deaths, their fears, but I'm not one person anymore. I am everything. I hear footsteps outside. Someone is coming, someone who doesn't know, someone who thinks they can escape. The jungle will find them. It will plant itself in their heart, it will breathe through their lungs, it will wear their face, and they'll walk among the others, unaware that they've already lost. Because once Vesh-Tare has touched you, there is no way back, no escaping it. The jungle always finds a way. I'm waiting now, watching through the windows, listening to the wind. I'll call to them, I'll draw them in. And when they finally come through that door, I'll be there to greet them with a smile. Not mine. Theirs. I've accepted this, I've accepted my fate. The jungle never dies, it only grows. And I am its heart. This is where it ends, at least for this story. But Vesh-Tare lives on. It's a force that never truly goes away, only transforms, spreads, and finds new faces, new bodies, new minds to wear like masks. Would you like to expand on this into something bigger? A larger story where Vesh-Tare spreads through an entire town or country? Or even an attempt to reverse it, where someone tries to stop the cycle? Let me know how you want to continue. Alright, let's take the story further, to the next stage of the curse, where the cycle begins anew with someone unaware of what's coming. I found a journal in the cemetery, now the jungle is coming for me, part 6. I think they're still out there. I think they're still alive. I've been watching, listening, the jungle is growing, I can feel it pulsing, stretching, reaching out for someone new, and I know it's coming, the next person, the next victim. Because that's how it works, isn't it? Vesh-Tare never dies, it just waits, and it doesn't matter if the person is ready, it doesn't care if they believe in it. It finds you when you're weakest, when you're vulnerable. It gets in through the cracks, through the parts of you that you didn't know were open. It found me when I was lost. It's going to find someone else like that, too. I can feel it. The journal, it calls to them, just like it called to me. It's been weeks since I lost myself completely. I don't know what's left of me anymore. The thoughts that come to me aren't mine, but they are me. They're every person I've become, every life I've swallowed. I see things now, things that weren't here before. The masks, the symbols, the trees stretching toward the horizon. There's no escape. There never was. But there's a new feeling inside me, a hunger, a desire to find them, to bring them in. The one who will lead it, the one who will wear the mask. I'm not the only one who knows the truth now. There's someone else, a girl named Eliza, just moved into town. She found something, a letter, a clue, maybe even a journal. I don't know. I can't see all of her, not yet, but I can feel her presence. She's close, so close. Her curiosity will lead her right to the cemetery, right into the heart of Vesh-Tare. And once she gets close enough, it will all begin again. The jungle is ready. It's waiting. And I will be here to greet her. Part 7 can go into Eliza's journey, how she unknowingly gets pulled into the web of Vesh-Tare, following clues from the journal or another survivor, until the mask comes for her. Or we can explore how the jungle spreads through a community, consuming everything in its path. What do you think? Should we follow Eliza, or expand the scope of Vesh-Tare's influence?